And I also think that sometimes girls look for validation. If they didn't get it from their dad, they have not begun to get it from the Lord, then they are going to look for a male to make them feel special, to tell them their view, all the things that we look to our dads to tell us. And so that's how some of them get caught in that trap at a very early age. Because, like you said, it still boils down to being used and abused just to hear those things that you need to hear, whether they are true or false. I'd like to say something, woman. I'm 41 years old, thereby waiting on the Lord.
Okay, going to video number 11. Hold on just a moment.
And I want you to not cut them off, but to just help me protect and guard. And then when it's time, within the confines of marriage, God, bring those desires back so that I'm doing it your way. Amen?
Amen.
Now, no, it was because I actually was talking to a friend of mine in Kansas City, a man, and I was telling him that we were just having a conversation, and he was like, no, I don't know why that is for women. For us, that's something. So if you're a man out there, that is something that women, well, some of us can do that and say, till such times I need that, Lord, you know, take away, bring back when I get married and everything. But men just are not, they're like, you're not going to get any man that's going to say that. And I don't know if y'all are scared to ask that question, but we really need y'all to ask that question, because it's hard to find a person that loves the Lord and they're really trying to live for God, but they have that outside influence, you know, that desire, and they don't understand when you say no, I mean no, and you need to pray and ask the Lord to put that up somewhere, and they're like, no, I don't do that. You know, I'm sure there's got to be a man out there that does that. Is there a man out there that does that? But, I mean, that's really something that, you know, as a woman, we have to do that. And so, any more answers to that question?
I know from working with teens and working with all kinds of people and for myself, I think for the most part, women are looking for affirmation. I think sometimes we get confused on what that means, and women like intimacy. It doesn't have to be sex. That you can hold a woman, and, you know, they will enjoy that better sometimes, you know. So if a person has not been affirmed, and that's one of the responsibilities of the father that God has given the father. So if they are not affirmed, they can't identify that, so they think sex and talking about it might be what they're missing. That's like sometimes if you feel hungry, if you drink water, you realize you were just thirsty. You know, you weren't hungry. So I think, you know, it's sometimes hard to identify and separate what the need is, but for the most part with women, when I used to do therapy with women and stuff, it was more of intimacy and affirmation that they missed the most.
I didn't really want to say this, but it is true. in these latter days, I believe there's more spirits that are being released on the earth, homosexuality, lesbianism, adultery, all kinds of perversion, to which, and those things we feel them. I feel them in the atmosphere. I feel them ministering. And it's when that kind of thing's happening that is again when we need to plead the blood over ourselves and begin to pray for God to cover us and shield us and for Him to release His angels, because the minds of the people in the world are blinded. They are being deceived into thinking that they are born this way, that they can go the way of homosexuality. And my mom, who was a Christian, who prayed for me to be saved, because you've got somebody in your family who's that way, then you try to justify to make everything better that they were born that way. And I told my mom once, I said, Mom, if they were born that way, God created them to be that way. How can you condemn something that He has created? You can't. So it was never intended, but the thing I want to just point out is that I believe there's an onslaught of spirits that have been released on the earth, and that this perverseness is coming upon the earth, and that we need to keep ourselves covered by the blood of Jesus Christ. And if you have to call somebody to pray with you, because there are times when, like we said this morning, one will put 1,000 to flight, but two will put 10,000 to flight.
That's right.
And they don't care who they come after.
That's right.
I don't care who you are or what kind of relationship we're in. They can still try to come against you and work on you and deceive you and get you into a relationship that's ungodly. So we just need to keep ourselves covered with.
Okay. On to video 12.
The camera is better.
All right. Now, camera's ready.
Now the camera's ready and that light is bright. We want to talk to people who are in godly relationships and they both love the Lord with all their heart.